Hey, I am so excited. Welcome to Friday Night Connection, the week 2 version. I am thrilled that you have chosen to join us. Every single Friday night at Imagine, we just believe that connection is an essential part of our rhythm. And so we believe that while social distancing is certainly in play, that is not the equivalent of social isolation. And so I want to thank you for being here and being a part of our Friday Night Connection video. I want to let you know a couple of things. In just a moment, I'm going to invite Anthony, our associate pastor here at Imagine, to join me. But just before he does, I want to let you know 2 things. Number 1, next week, I want you to mark your calendar for Tuesday night. Tuesday night, we are going to be hosting a Zoom hangout. It's going to be a time for connection and for prayer. And so I would love to invite you to join me. There will be more information on our Facebook page as well as in an email. And then we also want to let you know that we are so excited about this upcoming Sunday morning and want to invite you to be a part of our 10 a.m. service. And so we just really think that it's going to be a powerful and awesome time to be connected together in community. Well, like I said, I'm excited to be a part of Friday Night Connection because tonight I'm not here by myself. And so I want to invite our associate pastor, Anthony D. Camillus, to join me here.
Hey, everybody.
We'll air high five because, we're not
Friday night.
Yeah, we're not being a part of that. So, we want to be able to just spend a little bit of time together tonight.
Right on.
We have a few things that we just want to talk about and just kind of share some of our perspectives on what the COVID-19 pandemic has looked like, and then also be able to offer you some hope and some encouragement.
That's right. Actually, I brought a game. So
No!
all set up.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I forgot that last week I talked a ton of smoke. So I think I referenced you as David to my Goliath. And so, man, this is awesome. All right, Connect 4. I have not played Connect 4 in a long time. So, but clearly I'm excited to dominate you. So
I'll let you go first.
All right, I feel like my Connect 4 skills are second.
Gotcha.
Oh my God!
My kids know about that. Big time.
I feel like my Connect 4 skills are second to none. So
We'll find out.
I guess so. Hey, so a little bit while we're playing here, has there been a food item that you have missed, or maybe a food item that you are already sick of in the midst of this?
That's a good question. It's not so much the item of food that has struck me. It's the frequency at which I realize I actually go to the grocery store and I'm no longer allowed to do that. I think I was up to like twice a day for a while there is what it's feeling like. So I can't do that anymore. Yeah, I cannot just willy-nilly run off and get some parsley or something or another gallon of milk.
Yeah.
I have to go through a whole checklist of it's like an ethical debate of whether or not I go get gas or if I go get milk. It's a lot of extra thinking I'm not used to.
Yeah, I hear you there. I feel like we have more. I need to make sure that I'm still figuring out a way to crush you. I feel like we have more rice than what we'll need for the remainder of our lifetime. And yet I still have found myself in a place where I'm not completely sick of it yet. But I feel like we are getting there very, very, very soon. So. This is turning into quite the intense little matchup here. So I'm not gonna lie, red is. Oh, come on! You've got to be kidding me! Whatever. This game is an absolute fix. So, oh man. Well, congratulations on winning. We'll shake.
We'll edit that out.
Edit that out. Yeah. Congratulations on the win, and I'm gonna go cry some big Josh tears at the end of this. Hey, speaking of ridiculous things that happened, I know that Sunday morning we kind of brand ourselves as an imperfect church for imperfect people, and this last Sunday morning we had one of the most amazing moments, maybe in the 4.5-year history that we have existed as a church take place. When I attempted to bring in a table and it absolutely fell apart. So we want to invite you to watch this quick video clip of what happened, and then we're going to talk a little bit about what we experienced in those moments.
Not exactly sure what to think or to say or do.
But the one thing we know for sure, Father, we know you are with us. We can trust in your hope, your good grace, our now and the future. We pray these things together, separately, communally. Amen.
I can't believe that happened. My favorite part of the video by far is at the very end when it feels like you were trying to do everything you could not to just laugh out loud. What was going through your mind as that was happening?
It honestly felt like it was exactly the moment I was feeling inside before it happened, because everything was so chaotic up until we pressed play on streaming that I was like, this is exactly what should happen on a Sunday like today. So in a way, it felt like a natural extension of how we were feeling internally, and I'm glad we could laugh it off, because what else can you do?
Yeah, I was about as embarrassed as I have been in a while, and so it really made me thankful that we have branded ourselves as an imperfect church for imperfect people. One of the things that we just wanted to do is also give you guys a shout out. Thank you for sharing our services. I don't know if you realize this, but this last Sunday between YouTube and Facebook, we are over 1,000 views of our service that we live streamed this last week. And we just want to say thank you to you guys for joining us in the mission to inspire new beginnings that change ourselves and others through Christ. And so we want to invite you to continue to do that in the upcoming weeks that are ahead of us. But one of the things that maybe you didn't catch from this last Sunday was that at the end of our service, when the camera went off, I know both myself and Anthony, it was a really emotional moment for both of us. And so I know for me, it was just this sinking in of the reality that we were facing, how much I missed people, the pressure that we have felt in all this, and having to really pivot as an organization in a short period of time. But was wondering if you would reflect a little bit on what you were feeling in that moment.
Sure. We've been in such reaction kind of mode, trying to figure out what best next step to take these last 2 weeks, that it was the first time we did the same thing twice in these 2 weeks, and it felt like, my goodness, here's a new normal. That we are literally, as people, under threat of a pandemic, which sounds outrageous to say out loud.
Right.
And it just really sunk in, thinking of my own kids at home and families at home, that we were literally trying to protect people. And it was just kind of shocking. It was ringing in my head too. A particular church leader I know we really appreciate, I'll just call him out, Ed Stetzer's a guy we follow quite a bit, had recently said, this is the week that we are likely to know someone that is directly affected by COVID-19. And this is very likely the month that we're going to experience someone who might need to be hospitalized or worse with COVID-19. It's just the church problems, the functional church problems, we're figuring those out, and then we're now starting to recognize like the real problem here. And so it was a bizarre, surreal moment.
Yeah.
It's tough.
Yeah, for sure. It made me realize just how much I miss the physical connection and interactions, and how much I have taken that for granted, honestly, over the years that I've been in church. And I think all of us probably have those moments where it's like, man, it's just a lot easier to watch church online. And sometimes it is, and yet I think at the end of the day, there's that connection that we have of being able to be together in a room. And while I was so appreciative to have that moment with Anthony and with Nate Conroy, who was helping us on the technical end, it made me miss so many of you guys, and just being able to gather and to be together. I was thinking a little bit just about the last couple of weeks, and it's amazing how much our world has just changed so quickly. I was just curious to ask you, what's something that maybe you didn't expect that you've experienced over the last few weeks in the midst of this COVID-19 pandemic?
Oh, that is such a big question. What did I not expect? It's interesting to me. I never realized two things I take for granted. These are not really super important things, but like two things I take for granted again is like how frequently I really leave the house to just go take care of basic needs, and that's such a privilege. I try to appreciate the fact that, we don't have food insecurity. Like I can run to the store and grab what I need, but to think twice about that was strange. But not only just the day-to-day immediate things that need to wait, it's been really weird to realize that we plan ahead quite a bit. Whether or not you might think you are a planner or not, or where you fall on the spectrum of being in the moment, spontaneous and planning, it's been weird to just stop kind of dreaming a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, we're getting into spring and summertime coming up. It's like, what do you want to do with the kids? What are the summer plans? Like, you can't really think about that. Or clearly with church, I want to say, what do we want to do for Easter to celebrate? Like, well, we'll make some plans, but we can't quite plan the way that we're used to. And so it's strange to not exercise just that basic human discipline of thinking ahead and just dreaming of what's going to happen in the next 6 months. It's bizarre to really not be able to let yourself do that. So that's been something I truly did not expect, to realize how cut short your thinking kind of has to be. I don't know, how about you?
I think it has just been I think it really has been the moments where I have just felt overwhelmed. That's not typically, we all have those emotions, but that has not typically been one that I've experienced often in life. I can think of times, but generally speaking, that's not where I go to, and it has been so easy to feel just overwhelmed. And I think it leads a little bit into something that I wanted to talk to or get your thoughts on as well, and just simply around like what God has been teaching you and teaching me in the midst of this. And I have realized more and more and more how intentional I have to be in leaning into my faith and choosing to believe that God is in control. Because so often over the last, 10, 11, 12, 13 days, I don't know, whatever it is, and maybe that speaks as much to it as anything, that like, it feels like I don't even know most of the time what day it is. But just this sense that the things that I'm saying on Sunday morning, maybe I'm just preaching to myself, because I'm having to bring myself to a place where sometimes I read a scripture verse to help calm down my anxiety, or listen to a certain song over and over and over again. And I think it's just a reminder that dependence on God doesn't always equate to me feeling emotionally connected to Him, but that one of the things that I've been learning is that dependence on God is me choosing to intentionally engage in choosing to believe that He's in control, and that also choosing to believe that He has a bigger and better picture in mind than what I have, because I can't see anything that's good in the midst of or it's hard to see things that are good in the midst of this pandemic. And so knowing that He's in control, knowing that He is working, it just has been a really challenging thing. And so just curious for you as well, like what has God been teaching you?
I mean, it's been a short, I think, season. Like I said, 10 days. I'm not sure what it's been. A season of breathing in and out, and recognizing, being overwhelmed with the gratitude for the little things and all the daily things, and honestly kind of working through a little bit of guilt that sometimes come with that. Like I mentioned earlier, that in my family we don't have food insecurity, and then you feel almost guilty about that. Like you have, some things are steady in our life and that are more or less steady than others, and it's been, like I said, a season of recognizing that gratitude and feeling very much undeserving of the stabilities that we do have in my own little home, and just trying to work through that and recognizing, is this something that we can leverage and help other people, and trying to think how to do that. And how do you help when you're supposed to stay away? And it gets to be kind of it just kind of spirals, and you get a little bit anxious about it even. So ultimately, it's taking those deep breaths in and out and recognizing just being appreciative of what we do have. Every single one of us has something to be grateful for. And we've heard that before. We need that now, more than ever.
For sure.
Just holding on to those little pieces of gratitude, like, that we have this to look to. So that's.
I just have been reminded the comedic moments that God has given. And the other night we were sitting on the couch watching a show together, and Elijah, our 9-year-old, just turned and looked at all of us that were sitting there, and it was like, this is not social distancing. And we just laughed about that as a family. It's been the running joke over the last few days. We just have been really thankful to have those moments. And so as we wrap up our time together, and just want to say thank you for watching and being part of Friday Night Connection. What encouragement would you have for the people that are watching, both inside of Imagine and as we're discovering that God has used this moment to open up the doors to some people that are outside of Imagine as well, but encouragement for the people that are checking us out tonight.
The phrase in my head is "this too shall pass," right? I don't mean that as a joke, but it's true. Like this idea that everything we're experiencing is such a disruption. I can't imagine a single person that hasn't been disrupted in some kind of way. And a lot of the feelings that have come with that I have experienced and talked to the people who are experiencing is just this idea of like, what do I do next? And the best thing we can do is almost to do nothing. And with that comes like these feelings of like unproductivity or failure or whatever. Just not sure what to do. And I think with these past few days, nothing we may have done before can be done well now. Whether you're transitioning to home, or you have a kid at home who's supposed to be distance learning now, or you've lost your job, or whatever it is, like whatever you were doing well 2 weeks ago, you just can't do well now. And we have to like recognize that and take it one day at a time and give yourself the permission to kind of fail together a little bit and kind of slum it out together for a while. And with that, just know that there is community in that. There is a connection with that. We're all in this together. So that most specifically, this will pass. Give yourself a little slack. The idea that we're not going to do a lot of things really well right now. But hope is there for sure. And what a time such as this in the Easter season. That's actually kind of poetic in a sense, that our hope truly is not here and now, but is eternal with Christ.
I think, and by the way, we didn't script this. We're literally just sitting down recording this, and I just feel like what you had to say fits so much in what I want to leave us with tonight. And it's words that are found, it's a Psalm of David in Psalm chapter 62, and it's this idea of rest and of hope. And it says in verse 5, "My soul finds rest in God, and my hope comes from him. Truly he is my rock and my salvation. He is my fortress, and I will not be shaken. My salvation and my honor depend on God. He is my mighty rock, my mighty refuge. Trust in him at all times. Pour out your hearts to him, for God is our refuge." So as we end our time tonight, I just want to leave us with that reminder that our soul finds rest when we place our faith and our trust in him. And no matter what you've been experiencing over these last few weeks, and no matter what we experience in the upcoming days or weeks or potentially even months that are ahead, that our hope is never lost when we place it in him. We hope that you join us again next week. We'll see what kind of shenanigans that we can come up with. And we're just really thankful. Anything that you want to add as we wrap up our time tonight?
Well, thank you. Looking forward to next week. Remember, cut yourself a little slack.
for sure. We might have to go back to playing a game because there is zero chance that I'm going to let it go at a 0-1 record. So my competition will never allow that. So, all right, we are going to finish up by trying to redeem myself. Have a wonderful and blessed rest of the night. We hope we see you on Sunday morning. Take care.